Good morning. So first things first, let's hear it for the new glasses. Ooh. So secondly, I just watched a movie that I honestly think kind of changed my life, and that is 2018's Under the Silver Lake. So Under the Silver Lake is a movie starring Andrew Garfield, love, as Sam, a 33-year-old living in Los Angeles who becomes enamored with Sarah, a woman he finds swimming in his apartment complex's pool, and she disappears. So when she disappears, he goes on this journey across all of LA to kind of figure out what happens to her. And when he does, he finds himself in this whole new surreal world of conspiracies and codes and secrets and like mysterious LA characters. So initially, my interest in this movie mainly came from Andrew Garfield because I think he's absolutely divine. And I was also under the impression that this was almost a David Lynch-inspired movie. And in some ways, I do think it is. I think this movie does a really good job at being surreal, but it doesn't necessarily go as far as Lynch's work. There's a little bit more of a defined story and less discussion compared to what David Lynch used to make. Although you can still see you can definitely see the influences in that movie. This movie actually reminds me a lot of Greg Araki's Now Apocalypse show that he made in 2019, as well as Lord Huron's Vide Noir movie, if y'all's ever saw that, where you're kind of going on this journey through this massive city sprawl and you're discovering that everything you thought you knew, you don't know anything at all. So visually, I really enjoyed this movie for the animations that we got during the reading of the Under the Silver Lake zine. I thought those were really incredible to look at, as well as I really like these subtle scenes the movie would give you, where we see Sam interacting with Sarah, both in real life and in his own like dreams/hallucinations. We see her as this almost Marilyn Monroe-esque character, and you actually get direct references to Marilyn in this movie, where you get these really cool old Hollywood style shots where someone's face is kind of sneakily illuminated by like a ray of light in like a romantic, almost noir style touch. I thought it was subtle, but I think it was important because it really tied a lot of the movie together that way. And I think it also showed Sam's romanticization, excuse me, of her. So this movie is really interesting to talk about because I think there's multiple ways that you could look at it, as well as multiple ways you could interpret the story and its ending. I think for me, I really enjoyed how we see Sam as this voyeuristic man. He spies on his neighbors and stalks other people, and he justifies it by saying that he's looking for Sarah. But we also get this scene where he is complaining about homeless people. And when he's complaining about homeless people, he's saying that they're these people who are living on the outside and they're just watching everyone. And when in reality, he's doing the same thing. He is the thing that he's complaining about. Sam is watching everyone, but he's also being watched. And he has conversations with multiple people about how they say that they're being watched. And in a way, I think this kind of speaks to the culture of a metropolis like LA, where eyes are everywhere and you can't escape it. And you think you have some sort of power in being the watcher, but it's a constant perverse cycle of viewing and being viewed. Another aspect of this movie that I really enjoyed is the conspiracies and codes that Sam ends up discovering, because we never really get to learn how much of it is true and how much of it is delusion. Is there actual truth to these rich and powerful people communicating with each other and us secretly through subliminals? Or is Sam just so disillusioned with his life that he can't handle his own ordinary existence and he kind of needs to create a whole web of synchronicities in order to combat his own boredom? The movie never tells you. The movie never tells you, and we're kind of left to decide for ourselves. And I thought that was interesting because I think a lot of us reach a point as we start to get older where we have to fight off this feeling of the mundane by saying that things are so much bigger than they actually are in order to feel better. Or are they? I don't know. I don't know what the truth is anymore after watching this movie. So overall, I honestly really loved this movie. I had no idea where it was going. And even at the end, I couldn't decide what the truth was or not. I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I thought Andrew Garfield was phenomenal in this role. And I loved all the different like rabbit holes that we constantly found ourselves going down. I liked this movie so much, actually, that I can see a reality where I am definitely going to be forcing all of my friends to watch this movie because I need more people to discuss this movie with.